Hey there YouTube, this is Sci19 coming with you with a deck update. Well, two deck updates. Today we're going to do a double deck profile today of one old, one new-ish. Today we're going to do Nevalgazer and Tyrant Deathrex. Uh, as you all know that, well, some of you should know today's a sneak peek for Cavalry of the Blue Storm. So I got a few new things for Aquaforce. I just finished updating the Tyrant Deathrex Tachikaze build. Thanks to my locals at Legendary Creatures. The link will be down below. The store, the website, and things like that. Once I get those all sorted out with the owner. But besides all that, let's just jump right into the video and see what I've updated, what new cards were added, what was taken out, and things like that. We will start with Tachikaze first. So we're going to go pretty fast because not many things have changed in the deck. So we played the 4 Tyrant Deathrex. If you watch my last video, you should know what it does already, but we'll go over it a little quickly. When it attacks, Soul Blast 1, retire a unit, and for how many gauges that unit has, this unit gains 10k to end a battle, and you can also retire 1 card in your opponent's front row. For the other grade 3 that supports this deck, we're still going with 4 Opticanical 8. Again, cannot pronounce his name, but I'm just going to say Fury Light Dragon. He is one of your grade 3 gauge units, so on place and attack, gauge 1 unit. We're going to go into the grade 2s. We're still playing 4 copies of Delopyro. On place Vanguard Vigor, counterblast 1, draw a card, superior call a card from your hand, any card from your hand, and gauge that unit. But then also, if he is superior called from a gauge, he gains 10k. Next, we're playing 2 copies of Ravenous Dragon Megarex. I would like to bump this up to 3 or 4. I just haven't gotten them yet. They're still coming. But know that this card is always a staple. This card will always be at 3 or 4 in your deck. Oh, sorry, skill. One place, when it attacks, you can retire one of your other rear guards, draw a card, and then if this card is on rear guard, counterblast 1, engage, and then it gains 5k power for each one of its gauges. Next is one of the newer cards in the deck. We play 3 copies of Savage Academian. Now, the reason why we play this card is that she has the ability to rest herself, Soul Blast 1, and then you may superior call any card of a gauge to a rearguard circle. This is a good way to get Pyro off very quickly during the main phase, so you can get that 10k power. So she's always going to be just that 1 card in the back row because you always want to use her. She's never going to attack. And again, once you have her on the field, the other 2 can be discard fodder or whatever because you really just need 1 of her on the field. But we play 3 so you see her. And last but not least, we're still playing 4 copies of Regalodon. Similar skill to Blue Sprint, which is when it attacks, gauge a unit, but when it is retired due to one of your abilities, superior call one of its gauges to a rearguard circle. So another good way to get pyro out and things like that. This card will be dropped down to 3, so you can add 1 more card to Megarex. For the grade 1s, we're playing 4 copies of Paloscale Spine, Sharp Thorn Dragon. This is a good way to get your gauges where you want them to go. Like I said before, I switched this out for the grade 1 that you've seen in the previous deck profile. So 1 or more gauges, soul charge, 2 or more counter charge, 3 or more when it's retired. Move all of his gauges to another unit. So you can move them all to Megarex, which is making him a very big beat stick. So we play, like before, we also play 4 of the grade 1 Perfect Guard. If it was not a budget deck, since it is a budget deck, you are going to play this card because this is one of the cheaper Perfect Guards that you can use. Yes, once you want to update this deck, if you are using this deck to use the draw PGs, this will give you open space for another set of grade 1s, whatever you want to do to make the deck more accustomed to your playstyle. And last, we play 4 copies of Blue Sprint, the exact same skill as Regulodon, just being a grade 1. And the starter is Dragon Egg, and just like as before, we're playing the 4 draw, 4 crit, 4 heal, and 4 front package of the Savage units. Nothing has really changed in that aspect. So, as you can see, the deck hasn't really changed too much, just got a lot more consistent. And as more things for Tachikaze come out, the deck will become even more consistent. Alright, so that's Tachikaze, that is Tyrant Deathrex for you. Now we're going to go on to the other half of this video. Very quick. We're going on to Nevalgazer, which we're going to talk a little bit more in depth with, due to the fact that we got Blue Cavalry out. So we're starting as our main Vanguard, which is Nevalgazer Dragon. Vanguard skill, 1 of the attacks. 3rd battle of that or more. Counterblast 1, stand with your other rear guards, and it and this unit both get plus 10k. So just like before, we know what it does. Now, our new supporting grade 3 that we're playing is Still Whip of Stormy Waves Graphifi. Oh, get that angle. So the reason why we play, Graphifi is that for the simple fact of the matter of his rare guard ability, is that when he attacks, you get to stand 1 unit in your back row. This is the notorious card that Bushiroad had to errata because of the infinity loop between it and another grade 3. But we're not going to go into that because I don't play the other grade 3, but we use him so we can stand with Nevalgazer and himself. We can stand in a complete column for another strong attack. And we're going to go into that a little bit in a minute. He also has the Revan Vanguard skill when on Axe, so Counterblast, Soul Blast 1. Choose one of your opponent's Vanguards and lower it down by 5, but we really don't ever really use that skill because we really don't want to ride him. Next, we play 3 copies of Algos. He's just one of your better grade 2 ride targets. That way you can get some more pressure during the grade 2 turn. You should all know what Algos does by now. Next, we play one of the newer cards from Blue Cavalry, which is Marine General of Kurdris Battles Aglis, I believe. Simple skill, act, rearguard, counterblast 1, rest 2 of your rearguards, and he gains 10k. Very simple, but very ties in into a lot of the resting skills that Aquaforce has now. Kind of funny how Aquaforce is now the clan that rests. Playing another old card, which is Marine General of Head Seas Thanius, whatever it is. As you all know, this does once returned, similar to the last card, but half the cost and half the power. Rest a rear guard, and it gains 5k. So now you have 2 grade 2 cards that can rest. The last grade 2 that we're playing is another card from the Blue Cavalry, which is Ripple Rider Brian. When it attacks, if it's the 4th battle of the turn or more, this unit gains plus 15. Similar to Coral Assault, but unlike Coral Assault, this card is not going to soul, and this card does not give you a draw, but it does gain the power similar to Coral Assault. So if you can't afford Coral Assault, this is a good budget option, just so you can hit the same numbers. Now we're going to go into the grade 1s. We're playing Battle Siren Narcissa. Skill, 1 rested. So again, we have 2 cards that can rest. By a card ability, Soul Blast 1 standard, she gains plus 10k. So she can get very, very big. Then, skill, similar to Coral Assault, at the end of the turn, if you have 4 or more rested units, 4 more rested rearguards, including herself, put her into the soul and draw 1 card. This is a good way for you to gain some soul and some hand advantage. Next, we play a oldie but a goodie. We play 3 copies of Panikin Skywalker, other known as Light Signal Penguin Soldier. Very simple skill, act, rest this unit and give the unit in front of it plus 5k. And then at the end of the 4th battle, Retire this unit, countercharge 1. This is your countercharging. You're going to use a lot of counterblasts in here, so you got to be very wary of what skills you use. Next, we play another oldie but goodie is Influence Dagger. We haven't seen him in a while. So a simple skill. Whenever you reach the third battle or more, it scales. He'll always gain plus 3k after the third battle or more. So this thing can get pretty big just from you doing your basic swings. And it doesn't say that he has to be in the front row. He can be a booster and still gain all this power. The last grade 1 that we play, since it is a budget deck, would be the grade 1 Blue Ward Command. Draw and drop PG. Now we have the starter, which is the Blow Bubble Draco kit. Now our trigger lineup has changed because I recently learned that this deck needs its pieces. So we're running 8 draw PG. Sorry, 8 draw. Sorry, no PGs in here yet. 8 draw, 4 crit, and 4 heal. You need as many pieces in your hand as possible. But running the draws do run you the risk of not having enough cards to guard with, so be wary of what you take, how much your opponent is attacking for, and be mindful. The only thing I would say is once you're able to get the draw PGs, do get them. They do help a lot with the defensive aspect of this deck, but you need as many cards in your hand as possible. So we're going to shuffle up here in a minute. I'm going to show you that combo I talked to you about earlier. And then we'll see from there what this deck could do. And show you how strong this deck could really be. So we're going to give it a quick shuffle. Sorry guys, if you hear any noise in the background, that's my little one. She wanted to see what Daddy was doing. Yes, and for those who don't know, yes, I am a father. So we're going to zoom out. Alright. We already have an opening hand. We're going to place the deck right over here so you can see it in the corner. So, we're just going to jump right to the grade 3 turn. So let's use Dagger as some damage right now. So let's say if you have Nevalgazer on the board, you have an Excel, so we're going to draw for that Excel. Then what I would do next would be to call. Yep, sorry. Call. Let's move Narissa here. Call. We need one more grade 2. Let's go with Thaddeus here, right? Oh. Let's go with Thaddeus here, right? So, what we do here now is that we need that one counterblast for Nevalgazer, right? So we're going to do, and let's say we have 1 soul, because you're going to need some soul. So we're going to use Thaddeus' skill to rest Narissa. Narissa's skill goes off. She Soul Blasts 1. Stand. She gains 10k, right? Boom. So now we're already set up. And then because of Thaddeus' skill, he gains 5k. Oops, he's out of frame. Let's move some things down. He's out of frame. There we go. Right? So, what we do next is we will swing with this column. This column will swing for a base number of 16. But it is very important that this column is the first column that swings because you want these units rested. So you benefit. Then we will swing with the new grade 3. His skill activates. He stands a unit in the back row. This is the second battle. So now we go into the third battle, which is Thaddeus, swinging for 19, right? Then Dagger skill goes off. He gains +3, because this is now the third battle. Now, the Vanguard swings, signaling the fourth battle. Influence Dagger gains another +3. Then we activate Nevalgazer skill, which is Counterblast 1, stand a unit. He and that unit both gain plus 10k. Then we go into our Twin Drive, first check, critical trigger. In this case, I would give the critical to the Vanguard, and then the additional power to the rear guard. But if they PG, you'll give all effects to the rear guard that's standing, of course. But then, because now we're swinging for another time, Influence Dagger skill goes off again. But because this is the 4th or more battle, the newest grade 2 gains plus 15. Making him the strongest unit on the board right now. So he just got plus 20, 30, 35, 40, 44 by himself, not mentioning Dagger's added boosted power, which is now 44, 54, 57. This column is swinging for 60 and a possible crit. These make numbers as you play this very well. And then at the end of the turn, the Rissa will go into the soul, replenishing the soul that you lost and drawing you a new card. So this is a small battle strategy that you could use with these cards to gain some advantage, to gain some threshold with all the other meta decks. But you just have to be very wary of what you're using and how you're using it. But if you like these updates and the battle strategy that I just showed you, please leave a like to the channel. Leave some comments, some suggestions, things like that. Please share this video so that I can bring you more better content than I have been bringing you before. Both decks use Excel 2 to gain some hand advantage and things like that. You could use Excel 1. It's always an option. But in my opinion, Excel 2 is always better. So if you like what you saw, like I said before, please leave a like, a thumbs up, hit that bell icon. So anytime I do another video, you guys will know when it's there. Please share this video. The more people that see this video, the more content that I can bring to you. I know I've been rambling. I know I do that at the end of every video and things like that, but I cannot stress it enough. You guys help me grow this channel. All right. That's all I got for today. Very short 17 going on 18-minute video. But as always, guys, see you later.